Hey, everybody. So we're looking at 2.4 here, compositions. All right. So kind of an overview of what today's lesson is all about is basically we're going to be doing multiple transformations on the same graph. Okay. So all of that stuff we've been learning the last few days, translations, reflections, rotations, we're going to be doing all of those today on the same graph. So if you were feeling good on the last few lessons, this will be kind of more of the same. We're just doing a composition of them. Okay, so first things first is I recommend downloading or not downloading, but printing out the PDF that I've posted here. It has the directions at the top. The second piece of paper is the graph that we'll be doing all of our work on. If you can't print this out, that's still okay. All I really need you to do is draw yourself a graph, just like the one you see right here, and then do your work on it. Okay, so let me show you what's going to go on here. First things first, all of these directions at the top, we can kind of ignore because I've sort of done this for you. Basically, what this thing is having us do is it's having us, let's see real quick. Sorry. It's having us like draw a bunch of different shapes on a graph that's sort of having us design a park. Okay, so we can kind of ignore these. I've already done this for you. But the first thing I want to point out is down here. This is the big thing. So let's take a look. So it's saying that all movements must be progressive. Okay, so here's what we're going to be doing on our shapes, which by the way, looks like this. We're going to have 6 different shapes that we're doing all of these transformations to, right? We're first going to be translating these shapes using this rule. Okay. Then after that, we're going to be reflecting the shapes over the x-axis. And then the last thing we're going to be doing is 180-degree counterclockwise rotation, okay, which if you guys remember uses this rule right here. Here's the big thing. It's saying all movements must be progressive. Okay, here's what that means. When we translate our shape, okay, for example, I'm going to do I'm going to do this shape number 4 with you. After we translate this thing, we're going to get a new shape. I think it's going to land somewhere around here. That new shape will be what we do the next rule to. Okay, so the next thing we'll do is then reflect that new shape over the x-axis. Okay, not the original shape, but that new one. Okay, so what I want to do is give you a minute or two. Go ahead and get these 6 shapes drawn onto your graph. And then we're going to do one of these, the whole process together with one of these shapes. And then I'm going to leave the other 5 to you. Okay, so go ahead and get these down on your paper. All right, so you should have all 6 shapes on your graph, whether you printed it out or you're doing it on a separate sheet of paper. So let's go ahead and try this process. Let's do this with one of these shapes. Let's do. I said I was going to do number 4. Let's do number 5 instead. I just want to do it. Okay, so here's the first thing that this is asking us to do. It wants us to translate this shape using this rule. Okay, here's what we got to remember. What does this shorthand mean? So if you guys remember, and this wouldn't be a bad thing to copy onto your paper, is that when we add and subtract numbers to our x value, that's us moving left and right. Adding is going to the right, subtracting is going to the left, and adding and subtracting to the y is up and down. Adding is going up, subtracting is going down. So here's what this tells me. This tells me that we are going left 15, down 15. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing. Let's do it all together with the first, or with this number 5 shape. Okay, so left 15, down 15. So starting here, I'm going to, go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And then down 15, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right, so there is my new point. And we're going to do that with all of these points. Here's what I know. If I got this point in the right spot and I'm moving left 15, down 15, I know when I move this point, left 15, down 15, it's going to land right there. Okay, it's going to be 2 units below this other one. Okay, and kind of the same idea with this one. I don't want to take too many shortcuts, but I can kind of tell, okay, this is slanted 4 units. that's probably going to happen right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, that's going to land right there. Okay, when it comes to that translation, I don't mind if you kind of do it. Just make sure you get that first one in the right spot. Okay, also make sure, this is still a unit right here. I have a lot of people always do this every year. They'll go from here and then they'll go 1, 2, 3, you know what I mean? So, this is a unit, that's another unit, that's, okay. So now that we have our new shape, let's connect the dots. Okay, obviously it should be the same shape, just in another spot. Okay, and let's call this thing 5 prime. Okay, this is our first image. Okay, so now let's move on to our next step. The next thing they're asking us to do is to reflect this thing over the x-axis. Okay, so first things first, our x-axis, as you guys know, is this line right here. That's what we're reflecting. Here's the big thing. Again, these must be progressive. That means when we go to reflect over the x-axis, we're not doing it to this original. We're doing it to our latest image. Okay, so this is what's being reflected over the x-axis. Be careful. Okay, it's going to be every new step you do must be done to your newest image. Okay, so let's do it. It looks like this point is 3 units below. I'm going to reflect it 3 above. Okay, this point here is 5 below. I'm going to reflect it 5 above. And this one is 1, 2, 3, 4 below. I'm going to reflect it 4 above. Yep. So there is my new shape reflected over the x-axis. Here's something kind of new. This is called 5 prime. We're going to call this thing 5 double prime to show that it's the next image. Okay, the last thing they want us to do is now rotate this thing counterclockwise 180 degrees, which uses this rule right here. Okay, if you guys remember on these rotation rules, we need to find the coordinates to the original, we need to find the coordinates to the shape that we want to rotate, and then apply the rule. Okay, the reason why I'm correcting myself and not saying original is because what's being rotated is this newest image. That is what's being rotated. So we need to find these coordinates. Okay, so let's go ahead and do it off to the left here. I'm going to start with this bottom left one. It looks like it's at -12 on the x, +3 on the y. So -12, 3 is one of my coordinates. Okay, this one above it looks like it's at -12, +5. And this one here looks like it's at -8, +4. Okay, so here's the points. Now I want to rotate these points. And again, just a reminder, the 180 rotation, really simple. We don't need to flip-flop numbers like the 90 and the 270. We just need to change their symbol. If they're positive, they turn negative. If they're negative, they turn positive. All right, so that means a -12, +3 is, I'm going to change the colors a little bit to make it obvious, becomes a +12, -3. Okay, and the next one, a -12, +5 becomes a +12, -5, and a -4, -8, +4 becomes a +8, -4. Those are my rotation points. Okay, which by the way, if this thing's rotating 180 degrees counterclockwise, I should expect this shape to go all the way around and probably end up somewhere over here. Okay, so just kind of keeping that in mind as we plot these points. Let's see what happens. So 12, -3, that means we're going to +12 on the x, down to -3 on the y. Okay. 12, -5 means we go to +12, -5. And 8, -4 means we go to +8 on the x, down to -4 on the y. Okay. And yes, our shape has rotated 180 degrees. Okay, and to name this last one, you probably guessed it, we're going to call this thing 5 triple prime. Okay, so that is the process for today. So what I'm going to have you guys do is now try these on your own, the rest of them. I would maybe go and start with number 1 here. And again, first thing you're going to do with number 1 is translate that thing 15 units left and 15 units down. Okay, so it's probably going to go, somewhere like 15 units left, 15 units down. It's probably going to land somewhere around there. And then that new shape is going to be reflected over the x-axis. Will probably land somewhere around there. And then this new shape is going to be rotated 180 degrees and probably end up somewhere around there. Okay, so just to kind of give you a quick idea, that's kind of how it works with each one of these things. Okay, make sure when you go to do your rotation, you're writing out your points of your latest shape and then applying the rule, just like we did on this number 5 one. Okay, so yeah, that's kind of what we're doing here, guys. A lot of this is going to be done on your own here. But if you're having questions while you do this, I am on the Google Meet right now. Get on it, and I can help you out and make sure things are looking good. Okay, so go ahead and work on this. Try it out. All right, so you should have done all 3 steps to all 6 of these figures, and I should see these 6 shapes in each of these 4 quadrants. All right, so basically your graph should be now full of shapes if you've done all of this work. All right, cool. So that's kind of what we have here, guys. I'll see you in class. Bye.